I'll tell you a true story.
Yeah.
So I get down there. Now you got to get accommodation, right? So anyway, I look at a flat. The lady says, well, 1 year lease. I said, I don't know about a year. I don't think I'm going to last a year here. But so you have to, I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll pay you, can I take 8 months? Oh, no, so we don't do 8 months. I said, I'll pay you 6 months cash up front. She says, no. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll pay you 8 months up front cash. She's like, okay, 8 months. I lasted 7.
Oh, wow. Hello and welcome to another episode of the All Rounders podcast channel. That's what we are. And today I think we are joined by South African royalty. And we're going to talk about coaching. If we're talking about coaching, we're talking about winning trophies in this country. And of course, he's a coach that has helped a lot of careers in this particular country. You think about Wits University, you think about Hellenic, you think about SuperSport United. I'm joined today by Coach Gavin Hunt. Coach, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thanks for having me.
I got to say, Coach, there's a guy behind the camera who's worked. I think if you talk about a guy who was persistent, who's been looking for you for some time, and is finally we've managed to get you here at your training ground, the Mega Park in Sunninghill. First of all, Coach, talk about it's this time of the year. It's off season, pre-season, season
time,
starting.
The worst season, the crazy season. Players going, coming, selling, buying. Well, we don't buy. We get free out of contract players. It's for me. It's a nice period, but also a frustrating period for me because obviously, we're a club that a lot of players have gone out and then, not replacing too many. Like 13 left, we got 6 in.
Wow.
We obviously can't just go and splash cash and buy somebody that we want. So those are frustrating things with this time of the season. But it's a building process. For us right now, it's frustrating because we lost in the NTN top 8. So we had 6 weeks preparation for the game. Now we've got 6 weeks till our first league game. So there's no scientist or no scientific way of doing this. I don't know how we're going to do this. We still got 5 weeks. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know. We tape off the training to be added. What do we do? And obviously, maybe it gives us a little bit more time to bed in because a lot of it, we had 4 or 5 new guys coming a week before the season. So we didn't really have time to settle them down and play. We played Pirates. They pretty much had the same team they played last year. I think we had 6 or 7 new players. So frustrating, but hey, it is what it is, and we move on to the next game.
Coach, I've got to admit, I'm a bit of a football manager nerd, the manager part nerd.
Manager.
I think there's an element of my career where I wish I could be sitting on your job and doing your job. But I think you've mentioned such an important point in terms of probably unprecedented where the preseason had started, but now you're going to another phase of that. In terms of your planning now as a coach, I mean, how much detail is that officially now trying to get guys more game time, or are you trying to give them a break so that you cut down the amount of or the gap that you currently have?
I think it's more about creating muscle memory, creating telepathic paths, passing situations. When you play with somebody a little bit more often, you'll obviously understand each other a little bit better. We put a team together against Pirates at the last minute. We had a week and a half to do it. A lot of new players. I said, we had to change the shape of the team because we didn't have players available. So we had to play something a little bit not. So we pretty much had a week preparation in terms of how we're going to structure what we're going to try and do. Where now we've got a little bit more time, so we can put a few things down. But obviously now that we've lost like Brady Grobler for 6 months, which is very frustrating for me because he's pivotal to the way we want to play. Even though his age is obviously it's against him, but he's so key to us, and he's a guy that gets you 10, 11, 12 goals a season. So now we've got to find those goals somewhere. We've got to try and find a way of playing that suits the players that we've got. We brought them in specifically to try and play our way, which they can, but when you have one piece of, this whole puzzle missing, it's a bit of a problem for us. So it's going to be a testing time for me. So we'll have a few friendlies now to try a few things and try and find a way of playing without Bradley.
And is there any chance probably of dipping into the transfer market and finding something similar to...
If they're free, yes. If they're free, yes. I just our position across the road, they just splashed and bought a striker now for 15 million, and they buy this one for 10 million. They bought our fullback for 8 million, and they buy. We just it's just that we're not in that space.
And I mean, you're a coach that has won PSLs in this country, and you established coach in South African football. You've done some amazing things with different clubs. In terms of now having to adapt to a situation where, like you mentioned, you have to wait for free transfer, those type of opportunities, how easy is it for you as the winner that you are to adapt to the current conditions of your
very difficult for me.
United?
It's very, very difficult. My mindset is obviously to try and challenge and try and win, and it's very, very difficult for me. But it gives me another side to, people talk about coaching route. It makes me coach more. It makes me, not that I've never done that before, but I mean, it makes me set them away in a way of playing, make it difficult to play against. But when you don't have the financial clout to just buy who you want, not that I've ever had that. When I got the SuperSport, we could get a few players, and obviously all of them got sold to Sundowns and Pirates and Chiefs, some of them. So that was the frustrating part. Then obviously I worked at a club like Wits. People say, "Oh, we bought one player, the rest were all free." We got them free clearances. Tyson Latswayo, the Bangman, they're all free. So people forget about that. So you got to build a team, and now it's harder and harder because they've got so much financial clout, Sundowns. So they'll just come in and raid your club wherever they want. And obviously clubs accept it because they're certainly paying over the top. People say, well, we need the money to run the club. So that's what we do.
And I mean, when you've got a star and someone is doing really well and you want to keep them, I mean, how hard or easy for you to have
It's happened to me all my coaching career. I had a bit of continuity when I was here at the beginning, but after the first year or 2 years, we sold players as well. Then I went to Wits, and we built there a little bit. So, and you should have natural progression. We're third, second, first. And then obviously we did all the cups as well. You can do that when you can build. Obviously, I came here 3 years ago. We had Maseko, TT, and sort of a Patrick. They were key. If we kept those players and added what we added last year, we would have gone close to win the league. And then obviously they left 3 big players, and then now you're replacing. Then you bring in Shandra Campbell. 1 season he's gone. So I've had 2 left wingers go for a load of money. And then we bring in Lyle Kay, who's 35. Who's done a great job for us, but different type of player.
Would you say then, Coach, with SuperSport philosophy at the moment, maybe balancing the books, or what type? You're competing on the field.
We compete in the field, but it is about balancing. Financially, it's taken a different route, the club, and I knew about that from the day I came. So it's a different project. I mean, last year we brought 13 under 20s into the team. 13. There's no club in South Africa has done that. So youth development is a big part of us. I've got to use the Disky players because we don't have the financial clout to, flood our team with a wage that, it's over out of our wage bracket. So we have to fill it with young players, coach them, show them. Even last season, people, we had a bad season. I beg to differ. I thought we had a brilliant season. We came 7th by 1 point from 4th. 1 point with the team that we had. I think it's fantastic, and play away home games in a way. So you had a young team.
There was a point where I think Jose Mourinho said people remember United coming second with a squad of players that you had.
He said it was his greatest achievement.
And then I think you're almost saying that because
I'm saying that. I thought we came third the year before. It was one of my greatest achievements ever. With the squad of players that we had.
And in terms of now looking at you as a coach, there's generally different cycles in terms of your squad. You have maybe quite a mature group with a couple of youngsters.
Which we've done this season. We brought 4, certainly, I would think 4 or 5 older players in this year. And already you can see a little bit more maturity in our play, a little bit more calmness. But, the proof will be obviously in the longevity of the season. So, but certainly we brought a few more experienced players in. It doesn't mean that we're not looking at the young players anymore, but you can't keep taking a batch of players every year into the first team from your youth, because there's going to be a year where there's nothing really there good enough.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And in 1 or 2 years, but you can't keep bringing 6 or 7 into your first team every year. You'll get relegated.
Yeah. And I think I remember Bernard Parker also mentioned something similar. I said, I think when I was at Chiefs, the importance of having some of those senior players, you're taking the ethos of the club and how things are meant to be, handling expectations and passing it on to the younger players. How important has that been to having some of those senior players like Lau, to kind of pass on?
My theory, and every coach is different.
Yeah.
My theory is I don't want to run the team.
Yes.
I don't run the team. The players run the
Yes.
team. And if you've got a good culture in your club and a
Yes.
good culture in your team,
Yeah.
you'll have a good team.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even want to go there with what you spoke about with Bernard and that inch, because I was there.
Yeah.
You've got to have a good culture, and your older players have got to lead the culture. And if you've got that, the coach is there to put the structures in the place.
Yeah.
But I can't be having discipline issues and the little nitty-natty little things that go on in football clubs. You know, the childish behavior, and I can't handle it. They must sort that out themselves.
Yes.
And if you've got that in your club, and all the clubs that I've been with, successful clubs, the dressing room ran the team,
Yes.
not the coach.
Yes.
Yeah, when they got out of line, yes, when seriously, the final one.
Yes.
But the little nitty-natty player coming late, and what was I tell the player, I'm going to fine you. They must sort it out.
Yeah.
They must sort him out physically, you know, or sort him out in a way that isolate him or whatever, you know. So this business of a coach, you've got to have control of it. If you don't have control, that is a problem. So I've got control. But in saying that, I can't, the daily nitty-natty little squabbles, I can't sort it out.
And in terms of you looking back now to maybe the Gavin Hunt, the coach, when you started, the types of footballers that you had to deal with, and this modern day generation of footballers, how different has that become for you to also obviously manage? And
I've had to change my ways. I've had to change my philosophy. I've had to change my thinking. I've had to change the way I talk to players. The youth of today is soft. They are soft. They are babies. They cannot handle diversity. They cannot handle toughness. Where I grew up in the area, my goodness, you know. And I'm not saying, you know, you'll hear people say I always say the older you get, the better you used to think you were. You know what I'm saying? You know, everything was better, but things were better. People got on with it. People were tougher. People were. Nowadays, the social media. You know, if a player doesn't play, he's on the social media. Oh, this is about the coach. He's talking to his agent. There was only one person I could talk to, was my coach. There was no, my mother and father, they didn't sort yourself out. So there was only one. Nowadays, they've got agents, they've got social media, they got all these things. CEOs of clubs are far too
player power
with the CEO of a football club. Where the player talks to the CEO, the coach is this, and then the CEO takes the coaches. No. The coach should be the, you know, and players these days cannot handle diversity. They cannot handle. Actually, we need to knuckle down a bit more here and work a little bit harder and be a bit tougher and stand up a little bit more. That's why the squads we had in my day were 15, 16 players. Now you've got 30 players. You know, it's a totally. I mean, I look at a guy like Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger, how they lasted so long, but they've had to change with the times. I've had to change. I mean, I don't even know how to work a TV remote, and let alone phones and tablets and social media. I stay well out of that stuff. You know, I can't be involved. If I've got something to say to you, I'm not sending you an email. People send emails to each other, and they sit next to each other, or they live. You know, let's face it. Let's face each other, and so for me, I'm old school with that. If I've got something to say to you, rather tell me, you tell me to my face, I'll tell me. I mean, I see coaches these days get fired on a WhatsApp. They get fired by emails. I got fired by email from one of the clubs. By send you an email because they haven't got they're not man enough to stand in front of you and say, listen, X, Y, Z, and you're out. Where, you know, fire me, face me, look me in the eye, and then I'll tell you a few good fortune. You can tell me my fortune, then you shake hands and I walk out. But don't fire me by email. You know what I'm saying?
And I mean, you mentioned now talking about management. I mean, some of us, like I said, I'm a football manager, like geek. I love playing the games and all that stuff, and wishing to have more opportunities, like seeing what the work that you do behind the scenes. But like when it comes to yourself as a manager or head coach? Because this title it chops and changes depending which club you're
I used to
in.
play for a manager. Now we play for a head coach.
Yeah.
I don't know what the difference is. Well, I do know what the difference is, but yeah, we should be more managers plus coaches, not just coaches.
Yeah.
You know?
How is the structure? I mean, if you had to envisage a structure that you've been part of as a head coach, I mean, we see in world football now, especially in Europe, sporting directors, technical directors, and you as a head coach kind of report to those guys. You don't have maybe the direct access to the owners and things like that. What types of structures do we have in South African football?
You really want to know? That's really poor.
Yeah.
The most important relationship in any football club is the coach and the owner. That's the most important relationship, because the owner needs to be honest with the coach, and the coach needs to be honest with the owner.
Yeah.
And I think if you've got that relationship, most of the clubs that I've worked, I've had that relationship.
Yeah.
So he could say what he likes to me, and I could say what he liked to him without it going any further.
Yeah.
Nowadays, they work through sporting directors. Why do they work through sporting directors? Well, maybe the reason is they don't know football, the owners. So if you get an owner nowadays, you want an owner that knows nothing about football, you want an owner that knows a little bit about football, you want an owner that knows a lot about football.
Yeah.
Me, I'd rather have somebody that both ends of the scale doesn't know anything about football or knows a lot, not a little bit. The guy that knows a little bit about football, those are the dangerous guys, because they'll get sidetracked by outside influences saying, do this, do that, change. Why is he playing him? And you know, in football, hindsight is easy there. Oh, why did you play him? Why didn't you play him? Well, why don't you tell me before the game? And then I'll tell you why we played him or we didn't play. Why did you make that change? Or why didn't you make that change? Well, I'll tell you why. And you know, so you've got to have a relationship with a chairman or owner of a football club, and you can talk. And somebody who watches the games live, not just watch on TV, in between watching rugby and cricket and golf. You know, flicking over. Oh, they're 1-0 up, they're 1-0 down. Come to the stadium, travel with the team, feel what's going on. And I think too, a lot of these days, a lot of owners sometimes don't even go to the games. You know, how does that work? And then and then they say, well, what happened? I said, well, I don't know. You watch the game. Don't you tell me what you think. And I've had fights with owners because I said, well, you tell me what you think about the game. You watch the game. And they didn't watch the game. So they were watching between rugby and cricket and golf and eating and talking to the kids or whatever. So you've got to work closely as a coach with that guy. Now people are putting these sporting directors in place because they think, you know what, I need to go play golf with my mates on Saturday afternoon. I'm going to go watch with the team and I'll get the result. Oh, why they badly? So then he gives the reports, you know. A sporting director needs to employ the coach, and the coach needs to have understand. What's happened nowadays, the owner employs the coach, and then they employ a sporting director, and these two don't get on, and then there's a fight. He wants to bring this type of play in, and he sits in the stand. He's never coached before. Sporting director should be somebody that's coached before, I always think, because he's got a better idea. Watch the training sessions. What is your thinking, coach? How you want to play? What do you want to think? So he's involved and he's in the coach's head. So when the things happen on the field, you can say, oh, well, he did do that on Monday, Tuesday. You know, or he did say this. I'm not saying he must listen to every team talk, but be involved in the philosophy of the club. You know, and once you get that, and in South Africa, I don't think it'll ever happen. Because, you know, there's a clash. There's already a clash across the road here. You know what I mean?
And talking about philosophies, and I've heard some interesting parts of you actually talking about your philosophy as part. You have a system, or you play to develop players to go overseas. That was one. I actually thought was really interesting to kind of hear.
I do that. And so I'll look for. I'll be totally different to most people in South Africa. So what I'll look for in a goalkeeper, in a centre half, in a fullback, in a winger, in a wide play, in a striker, I will look for what I know that'll work in Europe. Now they might not have the quality; they're not good enough. They're good enough here at this level, but they're not. But the qualities that those teams will be looking for, and we will sell more players to Europe because of that. But obviously with the quality, you know, they need the individual. But coaching-wise, how we want to play. But philosophies get developed by the quality of the players that you've got. Don't tell me, I mean, I can come in and say, right, we're going to play like this. And I'm going, my goodness, we don't have the players to play like that. So people say, oh, Gavin Hunt plays this style. Well, he's got a style because of what he's got. You know, he's got to play a way that wins games, doesn't lose many games, and is effective, I can also go across the road and buy players. And
Yes.
I want to play a certain way. I'll tell you, I'll buy a team.
Yeah.
I can buy a team. We win the league by 20 points.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
No problem. And then I'll buy what I think is right.
Yeah.
You know, but I can't. We get players. People say, "Oh, but you got what you wanted." I said, "No, these people. He was for free.
Yeah.
He was for free.
Yeah.
We couldn't get him because he was costing 10 million, and I got him for free, and his wages are less, and that's how it works. That's coaching.
Yes.
That's called management and coaching, where you can put something together, not square pegs in round holes. You put in, square pegs in square, you know. So you need to have a look at a player and say, right, he can do a job for us because he's free. Because I couldn't get the one I wanted.
Yeah. There's been, we have a lot of talk nowadays of the philosophy part, where a lot of teams now, we're seeing even your teams who are fighting relegation, building from the back.
What a lot of crap. Absolute crap. And that's why you lose your job.
Yeah.
So why do something why copy? Football's a fashion thing. So if you watch a World Cup, teams play 3-5-2. So after Germany, when they win the World Cup, 82, 80, was it 80? Yeah. Everybody played back three because they played it. Then everybody else played 4-3-3. Then everybody changed to 4-3-3. It's a fashion thing. Football's fashion thing. So when somebody sees people playing out the back, oh no, we're going to play this way of football. It's nonsense.
Yeah.
Absolute nonsense. Firstly, do you have the players?
Yeah.
If that's the case, why aren't you winning the league? Why aren't you winning? You should be winning because this is. If you believe that's your way, then that's fine with you. But don't try and influence other people to.
Yes.
You're not playing football because you're doing that. And say they play beautiful football. How many cups they won? How many trophies they won? They won the league. They can't win the league, So you've got to be very careful with football philosophies. And yes, I've got a way of thinking, and we want to do. We play a certain way, but you've got to have the players. So it's no good me getting into a club and say, I want to play like this. I look I went to certain clubs and I'll go there and they don't have any wingers. So how are we going to play with any width there? Oh, they've got fullbacks in attack. Well, I don't want to play like that. So those things be created by what you've got.
Yeah. And ideally, if you had to say you mentioned something key there. You said you have certain characteristics that you look for
in a player.
In players.
In a position, yes. Guaranteed.
If you had to say, give us an example of a midfielder, what is essential to Gavin Hunt to have as a midfielder in South Africa?
Well, there's three things. Does he create goals? Does he stop goals? And does he score goals? Well, South African midfielders don't score goals. They don't shoot. Do they create goals? Yeah. Do they stop goals? Yeah, they work hard, they press.
They work great, yeah.
So you've got to be doing those three things. If you don't do those three things, well, we got our two centre midfielders are excellent. Or I'm saying our midfield, we got some excellent players, but they don't do one of those. They don't score goals.
Yeah.
Because they don't shoot. Are we practicing them shooting? Yes, we do. Do we work on certain drills to get them shooting? Yes, we do. But they got to shoot. They don't shoot. So if your centre midfield player is not getting you 5-6 goals a season each, if you've got two men or whatever, there's a problem. We start too late here in life. So we start 21, 22. Oh, he's a young player. No, he's not. 16, 17, you should play in the PSL.
Yeah.
So it's...
And how do you fast track that, coach? Because
strength and conditioning.
Strength and conditioning.
Yeah, there's no strength and conditioning in South Africa. Look at South African... If you look at South African population, they're getting smaller and smaller. Why? I think they eat crap food. I think the diets are wrong. I don't think we live a lifestyle... that's not conducive. We don't find the big ones anymore. So they're not really available.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the players are not strong enough, man.
Yeah.
At 17, they should be strong. 18, you should be like a man now almost, in terms of physicality. I mean, you look at, all due respect, look at our Disky League to the PSL. Weak, physical, weak, man.
Yeah.
There's no aerial power, no 1v1 strength, half a tackle, they're rolling around the ground, holding their ankle. They're 45 kilograms.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
The problem. It's a problem.
And do you feel then is there a disconnect between our development when it comes to the
I will say, you take, let's say you take a 10-year-old from Brazil, England, Germany, Spain, South Africa, a 10-year-old. We're just as good as all of them. Technically, we'll be good.
Yeah.
We're just as good, if not better than all of them.
Yeah.
Our best one, their best one.
Yeah.
Then what happens? We don't coach properly. They don't coach. They're not coaching properly to the two ends of the game, scoring goals and defending. That's the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the most important part of the game. Whatever goes on in the middle, it doesn't really. But we need. So that's what we can't do in this country. We don't coach it from under 12, under 14. We don't coach scoring, and we don't coach defending. We coach playing, possession. So we're coaching the wrong things. And I don't care what anybody says. I'll argue with anybody. And they say, oh, look at them, they're passable. They have 35 passes. They haven't had a shot at goal. They haven't crossed the ball. Then the ball goes in their box. They can't head the ball. They can't play 1v1. They're not tackling.
Yeah.
So, but they play beautiful football.
Yeah.
But they're not going to win games.
There's no results.
So at 10, we're just as good as anybody. Now we need to start coaching now. I'm just giving you 10. It could be 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Now we need to start coaching. Coaching defending. Coaching attacking. Coaching crossing, shooting. The things that wins you games and the things that makes you win games.
Yeah.
We don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, I go watch training sessions under 12. There's no playing towards something and defending something.
Okay.
You need to have that in football. That is football.
Yeah.
And if you haven't got that, so if I just see possession training, I go, you know.
Doesn't go back to this thing again. You spoke about trends, and it seems to be holding on to.
So when I grew up, all we did was shooting, crossing, finishing, defending.
Yeah.
Under 10, under 12. By God, did we have the good basics?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we didn't have possession training enough. We didn't do enough of that. But we could defend something and we could attack something.
Yeah.
And you'll have the ball 80%, but I'm telling you, we'll have more chances than you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I found that we got to get that balance right.
Yeah.
And when we integrated football in 78, 79, in my time, we had that. There was good integration of the basics and keeping possession of the ball, which was amalgamation. And we need to get back to that.
Yeah.
I think you look at our national team now. What has he done, Bruce? Rocket science. Not rocket science. He's just got us back to playing basic football again. 4-4-2, up and down, having a bit of width, hitting crosses in the box, working on cutbacks, working on people overlapping, working on the third man. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. But before that, we had all this complication on what, going nowhere, don't even look like scoring.
Yeah.
Can't play football like that.
Yeah. There's a few of your players actually we've had on our podcast and who've spoken. I mean, Dane Clayt, Lyle has been one of them, who have spoken about the School of Excellence. And now you're talking about a lot of the clubs now run their own academies.
I think the biggest problem in South Africa, I hear the word academy. You don't want academies. You don't want academies. Is the last thing you want. You want clubs. You want football clubs. Academies they have an age group and they go and they're this academy. You want a football club. Under 8, under 10, under 12, under 14, under 16, under 18, first team.
Yeah.
And in each group you've got A, B, C, D team. Now we're talking football. Now we're coaching a club. But this academy, they get 15-year-olds or 14-year-olds, put them in this group. Oh, they're brilliant. There's no club there. What are they doing? And the School of Excellence got all those top players, the Stephen, the Shepherd, the Danes, and all those guys over that period of time. Yeah, some of them went on their good careers. And what happened then? Where's it now? Where's it now? There's no club there.
Yeah.
There's no club there.
Yeah.
It's just, we coach these fantastic footballers and we play in a tournament and we win the tournament. Where's the club? Where's the club? My day, when we grew up, we had football clubs.
Yes.
And we came through a system.
Yes.
So, and the object was to play in the A team, obviously. And then you went to the next age group. And if you were that good, you jumped an age. They played you up an age. And you had 2 years in the age group.
Yeah.
Every year you had 2 years in the age group. And you produced players to the first team.
Yeah.
How simple is that? Then we chop that and we go academies. All our year, we've got academy. Okay. Have you got under 10s? No, we only take 15s and 16-year-olds. I mean, what is that? What is that?
Do you reckon then fundamentally, I mean, to continue developing South African football, the structure maybe is not in place to sustain currently, for example, what the Bafana are doing?
So I go down to a club down the road here, Randburg, where I go. I say, and my mate said, Kevin Moody, played for Durban City, top player, striker in his day. I said, Kev, so how many teams in a group? They got 8 or 9 teams or 10 teams in the league. I said, what? So that means you're playing 18 games a year. I used to play 18 games a month. So the game is not teaching you how to play. Yeah. We used to play school football.
Yeah.
We played club football.
Yeah.
Do you understand? We played, minimum was playing 3 games a week.
Yeah.
And training. Tuesday, Thursdays, or Monday, Tuesday. Nowadays, they don't play enough football, so they play 18 games a year, and there's not enough football. The game is the best teacher.
Yeah.
The game will teach you how to play the game.
Yeah.
The biggest problem we have in South Africa is we've got no game intelligence in the players. So we coach, possession, fantastic, yeah. But what about game intelligence?
Yes.
How do we win games of football? Because what's it about? Is it about winning or just playing?
Yeah.
Some people think it's about playing.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's about winning. Otherwise, why have a goals? Why have a referee? Why have lines? Why? And these leagues, the leagues are not. There's not big enough leagues. There should be at least 16 teams in a league. But you've got academies, so they don't have under 12s. They don't have under 14s. They've only got under 17s. I mean, come on. You need clubs.
Yeah.
You need clubs. Club football helps professional football.
Yeah.
And every it's like, why is our rugby so good? Why is our cricket? Because we still got club football, club rugby, and the schools of top football.
And fundamentally, I mean, you're speaking about rugby and cricket follows a particular structure. But football currently in South Africa does not follow that structure. I mean, how much is that helping in terms of the players that you are inheriting in your teams with maybe the fundamentals not being in place from your schooling systems, etc.?
You'll get a player. You get a player here, say at 20. Say he's 20. Then I'll say to him, so how many games of football do you think you've played in your life? Oh, well, I started playing at under 15. At school. I said, okay, so you played maybe 20 games that year. Then under 16, I went to the club, I played another 20. It's 40, okay? When you're 20, you should have played 500 games.
Just playing everything.
And play on the street.
Yeah, playing
another 1,000 games on the street. And another 1,000 games at break time.
Yeah.
You know break time?
Yeah.
You know that 20-minute break?
Yeah.
So you play 1,000 games there, 1,000 games in the street, another 500 games for your club. So you play 2,000 games by the time you played 20.
Yeah.
We get the guys played 100 games.
Yeah.
He's joking.
Playing enough.
We played football.
Yeah.
We played on the street.
Yes.
We played at break time. We played at school games. We played club games. Come on.
And
it's not enough football.
Isn't that what you're seeing now? I grew
so
up.
The players are weak.
Yeah.
So now, this and that, the knee, hurt. Tough.
Yeah.
Stand up a little bit more.
Yeah.
So we don't play enough football.
Yeah.
We do not play enough. Our kids do not play enough football.
And is that a organized sport type of thing, or infrastructure? What is it?
Besides the unorganized football, which I'm saying, 1,000 games of break time. So every day, so you've got 2 breaks, 20, half an hour. You should be playing. That's 2 games a day.
Yes.
You're playing. Then you go
tea break, lunch,
and you go home. Then you play another game in the road. Then you go to practice in the evening, or whatever. You've got to be playing. You've got to be playing. No football, no improvement.
Yeah.
You can't coach a player here for an hour and a half, 2 hours at 20 who's played 150 games in his life. You get goalkeepers. Goalkeepers are worse. So you've got 3 goalkeepers to train, right? So you go to the 3rd choice goalkeeper. So how many games do you think you played in your life? Oh, maybe 10. He's 20, 22. He's played 10 games. Started.
Now it's number 3. He's still got to wait.
No, he's not going to play now.
Yeah, he's got to wait.
Then he gets to 27, 28. And he becomes number 2 and gets a game, catches a game. He hasn't played any football.
Yeah.
Wasting time.
Coach, I did say I want to wind it back to, we know this version of Coach Gavin Hunt, and we don't know as much as the Gavin Hunt that grew up many, many years ago now, in terms of what type of person he was growing up, and what kind of pulled him towards football.
Well, both my parents are passed on now, so I don't want to talk behind their back, but I'm sure they're listening. And they're listening to me now. But I had a tough childhood. There wasn't. My father never watched me ever play a game of football. My mother never watched me play a game of football. I think even the poorest of people these days will watch their son play football, go to a live match. Yeah. So it was a self. What's the word? Self-driven thing, something that grabbed me at an early age. My father, to be fair, took me down to training, but obviously my father had a tough job. He didn't have time. My father worked on the ships. He was a carpenter. My mother sold shoes. He worked 7 days a week. So they didn't have time to come. So I was the only child, no brothers, no sisters. So you sort of football it sort of grabs you in. It takes you into a family environment,
Yeah.
and you feel part of something. So I felt very much part of something at a very young age in football, and it sort of pulled me along, and yeah, and I got a professional contract at 17. I played in a high school final, and those days they used to have so you had all the schools, and you play a knockout in your region, and then you come to a national finals. We got into that final twice, my school. So we had a lot of players. My final year, we had three guys who were playing professional football for Hellenic in Cape Town. We were playing in the PSL and played school football on a Wednesday and got into the year before. I was still playing amateur football in the top amateur league, 16. And then I got signed from that final. We played against Seapoint Boyne High, and in the opposition team, the manager then, Budgie Byrne, was watching the game. His son was playing, and that's how I got signed.
Yeah. And I mean, I wonder, what is that thing that brought you towards football? I mean, it could have been any other sport.
Well, I think, if you talk football, I always say, I don't remember the football side. No, I don't. I remember the camaraderie side.
Yeah.
I remember the dressing rooms after the games. Because, you play 90 minutes with the guys and you have a laugh, but you spend so much time traveling, drinking, partying, and there was a lot of players when I came into the first team at Hellenic. It was senior players. Donald Reich, he looked after me. Bless his soul, he's passed away. He's my captain, the greatest captain I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, what he instilled in me at 17, I still got today.
Yeah.
Discipline and things like that. Des Backhouse, Malcolm Philby, Keith Forrest, these Wolf the Brain. These guys were legends from the 70s, ending their careers now in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? And I came into the game and they sort of showed me the ropes. Well, I don't know if it was good ones or bad ones. Certainly taught me how to gamble the horses and have a drink. But it stood me in great stead, and how they trained those guys, the professionalism.
Yeah.
And then we were amateurs. We trained in the evenings. You worked in the day, and football was like it. All the PSL teams, or the NPSL, we were still NSL then.
Yeah.
It was like that. So that installed me, and I felt something of belonging. And a lot of those guys took me in.
Yes.
I didn't have a car, give me a lift, and up and down. I had a bicycle. I used to cycle to training. I was playing the PSL. And you sort of go from there, have a career, and then you sort of, life takes its turn. And then I got offered a job at a school to make extra money in the afternoons coaching. Coached under 8s, under 10s, under 12s, Holy Cross Convent, Catholic school. I was a Catholic boy. And I was playing and earning a little bit of extra money and playing, and and that's how it went, and then you sort of find your way. Yeah.
And looking back at your playing career, are there any memories that
great
come
memories,
to mind?
Great memories. Played in more semi-finals than anybody else. We got knocked out in more semi-finals than anybody I know, my friend. We got robbed.
got robbed.
Yeah, you got no. If I tell you stories, I'll tell you a quick story. So we played the JPS final, the semi-final against Wits. True story. Double header, home and away, right? Home and away? Play home and 1 week away. So we come up to Wits here. I'll just tell you a quick story. It's the year that Wits won it, I think. 85, 84, 85. I can't remember the year. We beat them 1-0 here. So now they're coming to us on the Saturday. You get a phone call on Thursday. No, we've got to play double header in a spot. Home ground. No, we must play double header. It's a big crowd. Abdul Bamji. Big crowd. Hey, we sold out. Hey, what? Biggest load of crap, isn't it? We got stitched there. We lost 2-0. We lose 2-1 every. They go to the final. They win it. They were coming to Cape Town. We were beaten in Cape Town. And stuff like that used to go on.
Yeah.
I mean, Bushbucks, a year they won it. I mean, we got absolute robbed. The goal. I mean, gee, like you can't believe it. I played so many semi-finals. Arcadia beat us in the semi-final. 1 year they won it. And the 1 year we got to the final. Oh yes, we played Free State Stars in the Coca-Cola final. It was about 95, 94. Listen to this story. No, neutral venue. Free State Stars from Free State, right? Yeah. Playing Free State cricket field. And the field's like this. So the first half you run like that. The second half you run like that. It's on a cricket pitch. A cup final. I mean they beat us in extra time 3-2. So, and we used to have a side that we always sold players. We never had any money, Hellenic. But we played so many semi-finals.
Yeah.
And then we should have won the league 92, 89. Chiefs won it. Absolute robbed.
Yeah.
We scored a goal. I mean, they gave offside. The guy was standing on the left wing with the fop. I mean, so yeah, bad times, but great memories.
Yeah.
I would never change it for the world.
Yeah.
Some of the players I played with, a lot of the players I played with, we had great times. Even today, we still talk.
Yeah.
Guys who live in Scotland now, guys who live in England.
Yeah.
I still talk to my goalkeeper, Gareth Elser from Spurs. You know, these guys, we still speak to each other. And, you know, great. So, great memories, but not much in the trophy cabinet because, you know, you had no chance.
Yeah.
You know, it was really poor.
Yeah.
You think it's bad these days, you must see those days.
You reminded me.
Kaizer Chiefs getting 3 penalties against us in one game. Yeah. I'll tell you stories.
You reminded me of your reaction from 2 weeks ago now. Where
Yeah. But people don't, you know, because people who support these clubs don't see it. You know what I'm saying? And if you get VAR, you have to have VAR on Saturday. Only 3 teams are going to suffer for the VAR. It's us.
Coach, just quickly on that point, then, do you uplift the standard of officiating, or do you add technology, or which?
No, you can't. You can't uplift
attack it from both.
Yeah, people say, oh, if they go full time, they're going to be better. If I'm a football player and I practice every day here, but I don't play games,
yeah,
am I going to get better? What do you think? I'm a golfer.
Yeah.
I hit balls in the range all day, but I don't play.
There's only so much you can.
So referee can run all day.
Yeah.
He can run around fields and get fit and do fitness testing, but he doesn't actually practice refereeing games in the midweek, so he can get some practice for the weekend. So they do a pre-season referee. He doesn't referee a game. You know what I'm saying with it?
Yeah.
So they say, oh, why? So they banned so and so. Why he failed his fitness test? I don't care if he's fat. If he can see and understand the game, let him ref the game. Stand in the middle, but ref a game. So get some practice in you.
It's almost similar to players as well. You can be out of form.
So I can practice you all day with my team. We look good, eh? But till we play a game, we lose. So I need to play games. So a golfer can hit balls all day. Bah, 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 bah. Put him in the 18 holes. He's in the bush. He's got to make a score. So referees, they train all day. Oh, their fitness levels, they run the 12 minute.
Professionalize on one end, but
you need to referee a game. Coming down. They should be phoning clubs and say, right,
warm-up games.
Can I ref your 11 this week, Monday or Tuesday? Can I come get a practice? But no. So I don't know how they can improve. But they know the rules, eh? The guys know the rules. But they don't know football. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like me. I don't know the rules of football. I don't. I swear, I don't know the rules of football. But I know football. They know the rules, but they don't know the game. So we go to before the game. You say, "Hello, ref. How are you?" He don't want to talk to you. What?
They've been told.
Well, what's that all about? Tell me, ref. How are you going to ref today? What are you like? Can we swear at you? Can we talk to you? Can we or not talk to you?
You're not.
Are you approachable or not? And he said, "Get out of here." I'm not. Okay, well, I'm just asking.
There's already been. You've created a boundary already.
So what I do with our team, I say, right, don't study the opposition. We don't study the opposition. We don't. Let's study who's the ref.
Wow.
So we find out this ref like this. Don't talk to this one. This one you can talk to. This one you can tackle. This one you can't tackle. This one, and everyone's they're all different. But they know the rules.
Yeah. Wow.
They know the rules.
Coach, I mean, I always love the mental side when it comes to, I mean, you mentioned not winning trophies. What were the lessons that you had taken that maybe you're still using today as a coach?
The lessons was that longevity, tenaciousness, come back the next day, keep going.
Yeah.
Don't let anything get me down. I mean, I've been through necklacing, killings, stonings, urinating on. I'll tell you stories. My book will be a bestseller. I saw a guy burnt alive right in front of me on the field at Witbank. Stonings.
Wow.
You know, I've seen it all. Run on the field, steal the balls, break the goals. I've been there, you know. So, you know, I've seen the crookedness, the cheating, the offside goals. I've seen it. I've been there. But I said, this is not going to get the better of me. I'm going to keep going. I'll keep coming back. I'll keep showing you. I know that, you know, what we've won fair and square. You know, a lot of teams are winning a lot of trophies, but a lot of things happen. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I know of lot. I mean, we've lost a lot of players. We've just packed up. We're going to play amateur game because they can't handle all the nonsense. But I stuck at it, you know. That period, there was a bad period in the 80s where, you know, before the apartheid and all that stuff, it was bad. You know, it wasn't easy to play football, you know, and a lot of players left and didn't want to play anymore. And, no, I stuck it. I said, bugger this, it's not going to get better than me.
Yeah.
And I think you come out the other side stronger, better. You know, so when I go to Africa now, it's like a breeze for me.
Yeah.
And there's
bad.
It's bad. Bad. It's a breeze for me. I love Africa.
Yeah.
You know, I'll go there with an open heart, open mind. I think, what's this? Oh, this is like mild compared to what I've been through. You know?
Yeah. This is your second stint at this fantastic club. Your first one, very successful. Talk us through that first part of coming to SuperSport. What convinced you to come through to SuperSport United?
The second time or the first time?
The first time.
The first time, I was at Morocco Swallows, and I was there 6 years. And we sort of, I don't say come to a dead end, but there was a problem there financially. There was a problem. They couldn't, you know, same thing, selling players. Even though we weren't at the top 6, we made 2 cup finals. We came second. My last year, we came joined second. Okay, we came third by 1 goal or 2 goals. And SuperSport approached me. Pitso was leaving. He was going to the national team. And they approached me, you know, would you be interested? I said, maybe, sure. I said, you've got a good side there, much better side. It was a club on the up, you know.
Yeah.
They did well. They were a lot of cup finals. And Pitso did a hell of a job here. And I said to them, well, we win the league. I can win the league there. I think we've got a chance. And after 5 games, we were second bottom. They wanted to fire me. And then we ended up winning the league that season, you know. It was obviously a change of...
how things were done.
Yeah, things were done, training and all that type of thing. And we ended up winning the league. And then obviously they ended up selling the club and selling players, and then dilute, you know. And then my last year, we sort of came back again. We won the Nedbank, you know. Obviously, the big gripe was not doing well in the cups, but I've always been a bit of a league guy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I focus one more than the other, but I'm saying the league always tells you where you are, you know.
Consistency,
You want to do well in the cups in South Africa because it's very lucrative, and everybody likes their day in the sun where they can wear a suit, and especially management, but you never see them in the year. But so that was pretty much what happened, you know.
Yeah. And in that phase where now you've inherited a good side from Pitso Mosimane.
We made a few changes, but we a lot of good players,
but now things are not going in your way in terms of how you're looking to do it. And result-wise, the results are not good. What are you then looking at as a coach in that moment in time? Sticking to the process, or were there many conversations behind the scenes?
I think when any new coach goes into a club, if you're going to go in there and change everything overnight, I think you're gonna suffer. And you think a lot of coaches will fail. I think about David Moyes. He went to Man United and he tried to change everything overnight. You should just let the process take its course. Then results
will take care.
If results are going well, you just keep going with the process. If results are going badly, you say, right, this is it. Now we're going to do it my way. And then my way become a little bit. It wasn't easy to watch. But that first year, I think we won. I stand to be correct. 7 or 8 games, 1-0. 1-0. It was horrible to watch. But we grind away. We got a few points. We grind away. We got a few points. And then we got momentum. And then the belief started to come into the team that maybe this is another way of doing it. I'm not saying that way was right or I'm right, but this is another way of doing it. And results buys you time. Your results will buy you time. You know? So, you know, obviously I took the frills out the game. You know, frills meaning, you know, when we're in this half or third, we're not going to do this, we're doing this. You know, take it out the game a bit. And so it takes time for players to, you know, understand that. You know.
Danny Kate mentioned you guys going on some almost...
That actually changed everything. A Bosparat. Oh, Kamstaldraad. Remember Kamstaldraad for the rugby? So I'll tell you what, so it's a true story, this. So this was in this time after about 6-7 games. So I said, I know what they need. They need a not football. They need a proper. Can I swear? They need a proper opfok. You know, which is an old army. I was in the army for 2 years. Probably I was in the army for 2 years. You know, opfok is it fucks you up mentally, it fucks you up physically, and those who come out of it will come out for the better.
Yes.
So it might sound, oh, what is this? And I said we had 3 or 4 problem areas in our team. Players. Okay? This is a true story. I'm not going to tell you who those players are, but these players will shine up and show you they are the problems. So when you get there, they got your names. So they give you a t-shirt and they take a paintbrush and they paint number 8, number 7, number 6. So you get called 6 or 7 or 8. Okay? So I got the numbers. Anyway, they get there, no phones. We're going in the bush. We're sleeping in the bush for the night. They got telephone poles 5 kilometers in the bush. They're going to run 3 per pole. So now they get 2, 3 kilometers. They put down the pole. They're rebelling. They this and that. They say, well, there's no bus. You're walking back to the thing. I give them an egg, a drumstick, and a match each for the night, for the day, and a water, obviously. And you sleep in the bush. And what they did, like every 50 meters, they're in the middle of the bush. They put one guy. It's on your own.
Wow.
So you got a match. You must make a fire. So you actually urinate on it, and then the egg boils, and there's a way to do it. Anyway, so they rebelled. Come the end of the camp. So now we get a report from the guy who was taking the thing, because I'm out of it. I'm not even involved. I'm sitting in the house there with Brian.
As you would, as a manager.
Yeah. And I said, right, tell me. He said, this number 8, number 10, number 11, these are the problem childs in your team. I went to the management. I said, I've been telling you about these guys.
Wow, it is match. Exactly.
So those 3 guys left in the window.
Wow.
In January. The team went like that. We won the league. So it wasn't about getting them out. It was just about, there was just bad energy there a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's away from the game. And I'm the last person, believe me, I'm the last person to worry about, oh, he's a bad egg. I'm not like that. I said, get on with it, please, man. You know, the football will take care of itself. I'm not saying they weren't trying on the pitch, but they were rebelling a bit about the change of the style, the change of the way we want to play the game. So they rebelled a bit and they left the club, and, well, the rest is history. You can't be hard-headed or big-headed and think my way is the only way. Sometimes you got to say, you know, maybe they're right.
Yes.
But not going away from your principles of what you want to do things. So you got to. So I went away. Listen, I know what I'm trying to do is right, but I need people to buy in a little bit more. And then you're creating leaders throughout the team.
Yes.
And what you do with that, it leads itself to. And I always say, when do you get tested? You get with 10 minutes to go. You're 1-0 up. You need to protect this lead a bit here. You need people who are going to put their bodies on the line, head balls, run a little bit more, tackle a little bit more, and that's what it does.
Yeah.
It's simple. And believe me, when anybody else tells you, they're talking shit.
Yeah.
That's football. Bottom line.
Yeah.
The teams that win things, yes, they got to have very good players.
Yeah.
Good players helps any coach. You got the best players, please. Yeah. But you need people that are going to push a little bit extra for you. They care about the situation.
Yeah.
Don't ask the word but. No more buts. They care about what's going on. No buts.
Yeah.
And they get on with it. And they try, and they pull the team with them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And what inspired, Coach, your you had a career as a right back?
Well, I wasn't a right back that made me flip it up. I played, listen, I scored 2 goals against Kaizer Chiefs playing left wing.
Okay.
So I was a centre back. So when I came into the first team, they signed me. They said, no, you're too short. So I had to play right back. And then I played left back. I played a lot of games left back. Then I played in centre midfield. 84, 85, I played in centre midfield. Then 86, I went back to fullback. Then I went to right side. You know, so you sort of move around a lot, you know. But I played a lot at fullback, you know.
Lal also said the same about you, by the way. Said he thought he'd start as a left winger and he came back as a left back.
Yeah, and
but you're going back to your philosophy.
Well, Lal is very important for us, a guy like Lal, because Lal can play 3 positions. And at a club like our size, and not our, but we can't have 2 players per position. So he fills in 3 positions for us. Now, sometimes it's to the detriment of you. Because
you more options.
You say, well, I've used my first shot. Okay, well, he's second. Okay, he can't. And he ends up not playing, like maybe last week. You see he had the hump with me, but that's good. I like that. You know, I don't mind him having the hump with me. He's got, he's got to, but it'll find its way.
Yeah.
It'll find its way.
Your coaching career, I mean, what makes a person decides that this is the career path that I'm going to choose? What drew you towards coaching football?
I always had an interest right from a young age, from 12, of tactics. I Now, believe me, there's no great tactics. You've got good players, you can have any tactics in the world. Don't let anybody ever tell you, I'm a great coach. He's talking crap. He's got the best players. I've always been interested in tactics, and I always felt when we were playing in my day, we used to play 4-4-2.
Yes.
Comes rain, hell, sunshine. I always felt we got overrun in centre midfield. You know, especially playing against Chiefs or Pirates, they would always have an extra guy in there. Why don't we have an extra guy?
Yeah.
Until we sort of spoke to the coach, let's put an extra guy in there. And we were much better then. You know, we kept the ball better. Maybe didn't have enough in the attack. But we always created chances the way we played. So there's a fine line between creating chances, a lot of chances, and opposition having too many chances against you because they come through you too easy, you know. So I think tactics always played a big part. I don't think, you know, in my time we were amateurs. We were professionals, but we were amateurs paid. There wasn't a full-time position then. But around 96, 97, around there, the game changed. And I was luckily had a year or two in football already. And I had a few agencies, sports agencies and things that I was doing. But there was an overlapping period, and I was involved, and then sort of went from there, you know.
Yeah. And in terms of coach, when it comes to when we watch coaches, I've seen you coach Wits. I was a student at Wits, watching Wits. You've mentioned Morocco Swallows. You're at SuperSport United. You've been Toyando. The life of a coach. How is the life of a coach where you've got a family, moving around? How is that life?
Well, it's certainly if I, you know, for me it affected my family.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. I think there's more divorced coaches in the world now than married coaches. It's very difficult to have a stable life if you move in great distances.
Yeah.
Because you know you got to get kids at school, like I did, and I was lucky because my kids were young when I took them from here. We went from Cape Town to Toronto. Now let me tell you, it's like going from I don't have to tell you the difference in the two. There was nothing then. Okay, I'm talking 99, 2000. Now there's much more up there, you know, in terms of shopping centers and things. I used to drive to Polokwane, 120 km for a cup of coffee, you know, in a coffee shop, you know, no training facilities. So it definitely affects your family. Obviously, my children have grown up in football in terms of moving around. And then we settled in Johannesburg, and they've had, to be fair, they've had a good schooling at one school in Johannesburg. But I was lucky enough to keep my job from Swallows to SuperSport to Wits, you know, out, you know. So they pretty much went through there. But there's no doubt. I think the biggest thing a lot of coaches don't do, and the top coaches in the world, all of them, they've all got a hobby or something to do outside of the game. You can't, if you fix yourself just on this game, it'll kill you. So when you get away, yes, it's a 24/7 job because you're always on the phone, something's happening, and you're thinking about your team for Saturday. It's like I always say, when you lose a game, never pick your team on the bus or on the way home. Because you pick your team for next week. Like, I'm not playing him. I'm not playing him. I'm going to play him. You know, don't be emotional about it, and let it sit. So you'll never see me rant and rave after a loss in a dressing room. Right, back up or talk tomorrow. Let me calm down about it. You'll have a rant for 1 minute, but never. I see some coaches ranting for hours after a game in a dressing room. Get out. Relook at the game, have a look at things. Maybe it wasn't as bad as it is. Even after a loss, it's never as bad. It's never as bad. I mean, we lost last week. We had chances, you know, and things could have gone our way. We could have won that game easily. Yes, our goalkeeper made a few saves, but that's his job. You know what I mean? That's his job.
Like our
strikers miss, miss his job. So, for me, have an outside interest out of some football. You know, always. Do something, whatever it is.
And what are your interests, coach, outside of the game?
Well, I'm a sports fanatic. So, I mean, obviously, I don't get time to play. But obviously, golf is a big passion of mine. I played as a kid. So, for me, I'll go to the range afterwards and hit the bucket of balls for an hour and a half and just chip and putt. And I feel better. You know what I mean? Some people go sit in coffee shops and drink coffee. I can't do that. Talk shit. I can't have that. So, I like to exercise a bit, ride a bicycle, you know. I love the sea. I love the beach. Beach is if I've had a bad run, I go to the beach. wash all the mooty bad energy out of me, and I go to the sea and I go swim. And I love the sea. If I get a boat, I go in the ocean, and I love it.
Is that still Cape Town or
Plettenberg Bay?
Plettenberg
That's
Bay?
my spot.
Yeah.
That's where I go. Yeah. I go down there.
And out of this, I mean, you've been around, started in Cape Town. I think predominantly we know you as the Joburger now.
I'm 25 years here.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't go back to Cape Town again. I love Joburg.
Yeah.
People say, everybody's moving down there.
Yeah.
I say, I'll move up. Yeah. I love Joburg. I think Joburg's got energy. Obviously, Joburg, the infrastructure needs to get sorted out. It's a disgrace. What's happening in Johannesburg, and the politicians are to blame. We all pay. I pay my bills,
Levies,
but nothing's happening. Our roads are bad. Everything's bad. But I love Johannesburg. I think it's an opportunity place. I wish I could have come here as a player. Our days we couldn't move. We couldn't move. You signed a contract, you were there for life. Unless they got rid of you or kicked you out or sold you. In those days, players never moved. We never moved in our time. I'd love to have come to play for a Johannesburg club in my time, and didn't happen.
And again, out of all the cities that you've lived in, is there any particular lessons that stand out from one of your, outside of Cape Town that you've been, that you thought kind of set you in?
I love PE. Rebecca, with Chipper. I'll tell you a true story. So I get down there. Now you got to get accommodation, right? So anyway, I look at a flat. The lady says, well, 1 year lease. I said, I don't know about a year. I don't think I'm going to last a year here. But so you have to, I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll pay you, can I take 8 months? Oh, no, so we don't do 8 months. I said, I'll pay you 6 months cash up front. She says, no. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll pay you 8 months up front cash. She's like, okay, 8 months. I lost at 7.
Oh, wow.
So I lost 1 month. I laugh about it now. It's a great story. They wanted a year lease in a flat. I had a beautiful. That for me has got the most potential of any football club in South Africa.
Wow.
Chipper.
Why is that?
Why? He's got one of the best stadiums, fantastic training ground. He's got an area of capture of talent from, I don't know, nobody's up there. There's no clubs there. He's the only team there. I don't have to tell you why now. Why it doesn't work. That club has got the most potential. He gets grant, he gets money from municipalities, blah, blah, blah. Free stadium, this, that. He's got everything there. But why is it not working? Well, I know the reason, but I could never say it.
I think a lot of us, when we heard you were signing for
So people, when I left Chiefs, people said, what are you doing? I said, you know what? I need to get some sea air, get out of Joburg. And it was the best 8 months of my life. Well, and football-wise as well, it was fantastic. We had a good side. We were coming. We just needed a little bit of time. And we needed to change the team.
And what takes what goes into that decision where you are out of a job and you are looking at other opportunities?
So
is that you have an agent?
I was out of work. I finished right at the end of Chiefs that year. It was 2 games to go, and they fired me. And Chipper phoned me. Well, yes, he phoned me. He said, look, what's up? What are you doing? I said, He said, no. I mean, they have 5 coaches a season. I'm thinking to myself, what are you doing, Gavin? And I said, you know what? Let's look at an opportunity. Let's go down there. And it was great. I swear. He was good. Pre-season, he was good. There was no problems. He paid on time. There was no problems. But obviously, once the game started, your ambitions, where you set your team, your bar, and where we realistically were. And I think we could have done great things. I would have done great things there. I know. And we signed 2 strikers. The start of the season, Rodney and what's the other boy? Pagamani Mishlambi. They both got injured in the preseason. It's crazy. Crazy.
And again, does that unravel the plans? And again, is there opportunity to go back in the window?
You don't have anybody up front. Who's going to score?
Yeah.
We didn't have any strikers. We were struggling. But we were 4th bottom. I said, this is where we are. This is where our team is. But will we improve? Guaranteed we'll improve. Guaranteed we'll improve. And we would have got better, and we would have finished off having a good season. But hey, you get fired by emails. Not even a phone call.
That's one of those.
Not even by a phone call.
Yeah. And I mean, when you now are outside as a coach who doesn't have a job, when you're looking from the outside, there's a job.
Frustrating. Very frustrating, because you look at what's going on and you say to yourself, my goodness, if I can't get a job in that market, then there's something wrong, and then obviously it doesn't happen, and then so it's frustrating from that perspective. So but all you can do is be true to yourself, honest to yourself, know the way you work, how you like to work, and then go from there.
Yeah. We can't not have you here, coach, and not talk about that phase of your coaching career, coaching Kaizer Chiefs. I think a lot of us, first of all, when we first saw you or being announced as the Kaizer Chiefs coach, I think a lot of coaches or a lot of people, a lot of fans were happy with, okay, he's finally been given the job of one of the top clubs in the country. And let's see what he can do, because he's done some fantastic jobs with a lot of smaller clubs in this country. And what came to mind when you finally been given the opportunity to coach one of the bigger clubs in South Africa?
Well, I was sitting in a hotel room 7 weeks in COVID. We were at Wits, and the club got sold underneath us. So all the players were getting sold. Everybody was going to clubs. The players were coming to me, coach, what I've got this offer from Sundowns, I've got this offer from Pirates, this offer from no offers from Chiefs, because obviously Chiefs had the ban. So I said, oh, okay, well, I think you should go there, because knowing they don't have a left this, they don't have that, they don't have this, and that's what happened. So they all disappear. And anyway, so we leave the hotel. I don't have a job. Well, I'm out of a job now. You know, my contract doesn't, we're all leaving. And I get a phone call and said, listen, would you be interested in the job? I said, well, why are you getting rid of your coach in the first place? You just come second by 15 minutes. But they had the FIFA ban. They couldn't sign a player. And the team was certainly on the decline, on the big decline. A lot of players, too old, you know, no legs. Even though they should have won the league. But you could see in the COVID period that the team was certainly struggling and it needed a huge refreshing. Anyway, one thing led to the next. This went back and forth, 2.5 weeks before the start of the season, no preseason, no Toyota Cup games, no tournaments, no tours, no nothing. Here's a squad, get on with it. Okay, can't sign any players. Norkovic doesn't want to play. He wants to leave the club, so he doesn't play the first 6 months. Billiard breaks his leg in the first week or two. Those are two strikers. Castro obviously was playing, you know, one leg, he was struggling. And the defense needed everything. Anyway, so we have a meeting. I said, listen, I'm under the bus here, you know. This is, start. Then we start. The league not so great, not doing well. Anyway, play in Africa. We got to play 4 qualifying games. We get through. First time in the history, we get into a group at the club, get in a group. But I could see the African league suits us. Why? It's slower. It's slower. It's easier. It's slower. But domestically, where it's 100 miles an hour, we certainly we're not at the races. Then we have a meeting. No, don't worry. We're going to change the team. We're going to bring some new players, fresh blood, blah blah. So, well, okay, but we can't do it till next season. You know, okay. Try and do your best. Play the youngsters. Play a few of these younger ones. I bring them all in. I brought 4 or 5 kids in. Played them all. Boom, we're getting hammered and smashed. Yo, panic stations. You know. Anyway, we get to the semi-final of the Champions League. We get through. Unbelievable. That was on the Sunday. We come back on the Monday. We play in Venda on the Wednesday. We got no team. The team is out of legs. Out of legs. We get beaten by Black Leopards. Thursday, boom, out.
Wow. 2
games to go. I said, guys, I didn't want to plead. I just said, guys, 2 games to go. Let me just finish. Tell me now. You're not going to keep me. That's fine. But let me go to the final of the Champions League. And that was it. And I was out. So wrong time, wrong place. Maybe they didn't like my face. Maybe, I think still today. Maybe they didn't like the way I did things. Maybe, I had a lot of staff that was there for the 4 or 5 coaches were there before me. A lot of the same staff was there. They didn't want to change. They didn't want, things had to change because there was no success. It had to change. And I was the fall guy for the change. And still 4 years later, they still
haven't figured it out.
So, you can't keep doing the same things, and it's unfortunate. Great football club. I never got my 5 cents with the chairman at the end. It was done. Bobby breaks the news. So I never got to, to find out how can I improve? You know what I mean? What can I do differently? So I was sad because it's a great club, great opportunity, something that I know I would have been successful with, guaranteed. All they needed, we needed to change the face of the club. You need to change the way you do things. And as I said, maybe I'm the bad guy. Maybe they didn't like me, like my face, and maybe saying things. But I'm forthright. I'm open, and sometimes, maybe them to tell me the truth as well. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but very sad because I think definitely I would have been successful. I know it would have been with the financial support, with the crowd, with everything behind you, changing the team. Jeff Butler went through the same story in the early 80s, and he changed the team, and he was successful. And he had huge problems there at the beginning, and then he changed the team and was successful.
How does it make you feel that you've won trophies with Wits, you've won trophies with SuperSport, and fighting against these giants, but maybe like you haven't had that full proper stint with the top 3 teams in this country?
Look, I mean, I've never had a full go at it, have I? And I enjoy where I am. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I know, like I said, when I was at SuperSport, we won it 3 years. I said to them, we keep this team together, we'll win this thing 6-7 years in a row, and we'll dominate the cups and that. But we need to keep the team together. But obviously, they get offered more money, wages get doubled. You can't hold players. Clubs need financially. Our club needs money to run the club. We need to move on. It's not as though the players were old. A lot of the players I had got sold in their prime. So we still had another 2-3 years out of them. I always sell a player when he's going down. Don't sell a player when he's going up. And we were selling players when they're going up. So if you look at all the players that went to Sundowns in my time, Pelembe, Dennis Younger, who's still there, he's won 11, 12 medals. Ron Kakanas. Okay, then after me, and we had Mapela, Machejo, Modisi. Okay, Modisi went to Pirates, sorry, before that. But all our players were going up. I always said, make a sale, let him have a payday, and let him go to, whatever he wants. But so for me, that's been the frustrating part. But I understand the financial side, and I understand the club I work for, and I enjoy the club I work for. It's a fantastic football club, this. But yeah, Wits, when I went to Wits would have been the club that Sundowns would never have won the league like they won the league now. No chance. Wits was the club. And the day Wits went out the league, the day you weakened the league. You weakened the league. You weakened the league because we were not Chiefs, not Pirates. Wits was the biggest competitor for Sundowns.
In terms of players, coach, the players that have stood out in your career, the players that have, maybe I got it wrong with that player as a coach, and they've ended up having good
I'm going to get wrong. I'm going to get them wrong in the next couple of years as well. But one thing I do, I'll get more right than wrong. So if I can get more right than wrong, we get things wrong. Maybe the player doesn't fit into what you're trying to do. Maybe the player wants, because you know what happens off the field? Agents, managers, they get spoken to. The player gets off. He's on Y. He gets offered X, Y. You know what I mean? The salary tripled. Why must I play here? What am I doing? And they want that 30, 40,000 people in the stadium. Where with us, we don't have the crowds. So they need that Derby Day vibe. And but if I ask them, where do they enjoy it the most? Because here, when you go to the big clubs, you're more just a number, an entity. Here, you're a part of a family. When you win here, believe me, it's harder to win here than win anywhere else. Why? Because there's no support here. You're not going to Durban with these 30,000 people like Chiefs or Pirates or Sundowns, and where they'll carry you over the line. You know what I mean? So yeah, so it's frustrating, like you say. But would I change it for the world? No. I've won. Every trophy is on offer in South Africa. There's not many people can say that. So that's I look up to it. I don't actually look back. I try and look forward. Back is maybe when I'm in my rocking chair there one day, you look back. But right now I'm looking forward. So what's gone is gone. But if people want to get a little bit pushy and aggressive and start talking football, then I'll just say, hey, whoa, just be careful.
Looking forward now, coach, as you've mentioned, in closing, in terms of your career, what is next for you? I mean, as you continue.
Well, in my business, you never know. You try and go from game to game. It's very difficult because you can have a long-term plan, but you're not going to get there. And there's a few clubs that have had long-term plans. So yeah, you pretty much trying to go from result to result. But I'm not afraid of looking long term, like with a young player. I'll always give a young player, if I feel he's He's got the right physical attributes. He's the right mentality.
Yeah.
I'll put him in, like I've done,
Yeah.
every year, giving debuts to people. But yeah, so I'm not scared of that, of saying, oh, well, you could lose a few games. Oh, yeah, well, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I always say, when I leave this club, I'll leave it in a better place than when I found it. And when I left this club, it was in a better place than when I found it. When I left this club, Ronald Williams, first year, Rasmus, this one, that one, there was a whole list of players. So they were in a better space than when possibly when I came.
Yeah.
From that perspective, there was players at huge potential, upward curve,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And for your club and your team this season, what can you expect from your team?
Try and win the next game. You can't think too far ahead.
Yeah.
I try and, obviously we're disappointed with the cup. We wanted to do better, but we're up against it there. I mean, in more than outside of football reasons, it's just so. Yeah. I'm not going to go down that road. We'll leave it, let dogs lie.
Yeah.
I just know, when we go on one day and we leave this earth, we can go with a clear conscience. A lot of people won't go with a clear conscience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and if I make mistakes, I can hold my hand up. I'm honest. You can tell me to my face. Don't send me an email.
Yeah.
Don't send me an email. Tell me how bad it is. Tell me to my face. But then you got proper balls as a man. And I think there's not enough men in this game to sit people in front of people. And so when I tell a player he's not playing, I'll tell him to his face. I'm not going to, hide, and I'll tell him before the time and why and how,
Yeah.
And if he wants to know why and how, I'll tell him as well, sometimes,
Yeah.
So I think honesty, it hasn't got me as far as I should have, because I tell it, and maybe I must keep quiet a little bit. But I think if you're honest with the game will be honest back to you.
Yeah.
And do things with the right intentions, not doing things with a sore heart, like, not with a bad heart, Don't do something, I'll bugger him because of this XYZ.
Yeah.
Make a football decision about a football reason, not because of, you don't like the look of his wife or his girlfriend, or he comes late to training or something like that. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes too many people have grudges with that. If he's a real prat of a person, somebody he's a real bad character, well, the game will spit him out.
Yeah.
The game will spit you out somewhere.
Yeah.
You'll get a chance, but the game will spit you out. Or after football, it won't be so successful because you weren't honest with the game. I think if you're honest with the game will be honest with you. And as I say, all the clubs I've worked at, I go away feeling, I was honest there, try to make it a better place. And there are better places, younger players coming in or whatever the situation is. And maybe people were happy to see the back of you sometimes.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I can look at you in the face, and when you walk, I won't tell you who there's a lot of people I see now at football matches. They see you coming, they walk the other way. They won't walk past you. I'll go straight. They walk past you. But they're not man enough to face you. You know what I'm saying? To say, hey. So, yeah. Leave it in a better place.
Yeah.
Be honest with it.
I think on that fantastic note, Coach, thank you so much for giving us the time at your Mega Park training.
Megawatt Park, yeah.
Megawatt Park. So we do hope that your team will go from strength to strength. And thank you so much.
From your mouth to God's ears. I hope he's listening.
Thank you so much.
No, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.